Good morning and welcome to Spirituality Gone Wild. And we are about to gone wild. I go wild or gone wild, gone, go, one of the two. We have we just have such a killer next hour in front of us right now. I could tell you what, this is a Cuppa Gratia and I am Debbie G. And how is it going? Who are you grateful for is normally my morning question. And that's really what I want to know from anybody who's going to be popping on. So type into the chat who you are grateful for today. This morning on a Cuppa Gratia with a shot of expression and 2 squirts of reality, I have a fabulous co-squirt. I love this co-squirt because she actually is also one of the co-hosts of our Women Rising show on Unify. And I just adore her. But let me tell you a couple things that really stick out. If I can find them again. I'm not even going to do that. What I'm going to do is bring her up because I had her old bio. What I will tell you is we're going to be talking about this website that's floating across the screen right here. It's called the mothershipalliance.org. We'll be talking about that and a lot of other things. Let's just bring her onto the screen. Robyn Davis, welcome to Spirituality Gone Wild.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? I'm so excited. We're going to kick it. And yep, I'm not a morning person, so this is how much I like Debbie G because she's awesome.
I love you too. Cheers, baby.
Cheers.
Cup of gratitude.
Yeah, I got a cuppa. This is my old band. Oh, look, it's me. Robyn Davis being my little foot cup.
Oh, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my whole life. Oh my God.
Isn't that cute? Is that making you so happy? That was from my shopping studio in LA. And I have bowls with feet. Dylan Kendall, I'll give her a plug. Amazing woman designer, housewares designer. She makes bamboo plates instead of plastic for children, whole lines, and everything's awesome. So I was one of her first custom printings on her mugs. And I've got bowls with feet, and they totally make you happy.
Okay, so we totally need to know how to get a hold of those because, you're going to have to hook me up.
DylanKendall.com. We'll have to put that in
DylanKendall.com, guys. Who wants coffee mugs with feet? I do. That has to happen. That's Spirituality Gone Wild swag right there. Totally. I'm just loving that. Good morning, by the way, to Sharon and Christina. Check it out.
Yay, Sharon, elder mother shipper, who was on the show that kicked off the whole shebang called Grandma Live.
Love Grandma Live.
There we go.
I'm grateful to be alive. Thank you, Christina. You rock. And everybody else who's LA is in the house. One of our gratitude alchemy scientists. I love gratitude alchemy scientists. Okay, so Robyn, let's just talk about you for a minute. First off, I want to tell you guys something. I went to go get Robyn ready. I went to go get ready yesterday to get Robyn all hooked into our live and all this. And I'm looking for her on this FB thing platform that you might be watching this on. And I'll be hot diggity damned. She's nowhere to be found. And I'm like, oh my God, she's just disappeared. And I freaking go into her Mothership Alliance group. By the way, that's on Facebook. You can find it, Mothership Alliance. And you're going to find out in a few minutes what that is. Anyway, I'm looking and she's on there through somebody else's profile to leave a message for everybody because she had her entire 12 years taken down. And do you know what this prompted in me, Robyn? This prompted in me to go and download all my photos and all of my messages and all of my posts from Facebook. Did you guys know you could do that? You can actually go and Google it, Facebook, how to download your files, and you can pull all your stuff off. But, anyway.
I got a hit to do it. I got a hit to do it last month, and I procrastinated because I never have done that. I'm like, yeah, I really should do that. But it never occurred to me. Hold on a second. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm naked right now. Totally naked. I have no necklace.
Are you naked?
I'm serious. Okay. I'm going to go get a necklace. It's okay.
Okay. She's naked because she doesn't have a necklace. So while y'all are waiting, did you check it out? I got a plug. Spirituality Gone Wild has an Untamed Club.
Let's go.
Oh my God, she's coming right back. Untamed, Spirituality Gone Wild. And for our viewers, you get an awesome 30% off for a lifetime because we love you and it's well under $20 and the stuff we give you is crazy, but the reason you want it is just because then you get access to all of our hosts and a whole bunch of other stuff. I liken it to a bit of a spirituality Costco. Spiritualitygonewild.com. Check it out. Ah! Ah!
All right.
I'm playing.
I had.
You know, I can actually switch us all I want. Like we can play musical chairs with this app, which I really love. Y'all see that?
Okay.
Okay. It's so much fun. I mean, life is too short not to enjoy, not to have fun. And even when you have things come up and moments come up that like all of a sudden you have your entire Facebook profile gone. Now you're fighting it, right? I mean, you did. I'm assuming. No,
Nope.
it's just go. It's just.
Yep.
Into the ether.
Yeah, for those of you out there who are wondering what happened, what did I post?
What did you do? You evil thing, yo!
Yeah. So first of all, in 12 years of Facebooking, and I give good Facebook, those will vouch for me. I've never gotten warned, dinged, nothing. I'm a marketer. I'm an advertiser. I'm a broadcaster. I have multiple pages, my business page, curated sets of my family reunion and children's photos and all kinds of stuff. 12 years of stuff. And I have strategically had the Mothership Alliance, my group of rising women, and we'll talk about that in a second, network of networks that I started purposely privately as a private group because it was important to me that people were aligned and said yes. It was an energy exchange and that people said, yes, I want to know about this rather than me just like randomly talking about it on my timeline, because as many of us have like family, friends, grandparents, you know what I mean, whatever. And it's not for everyone. So it very quickly, just by word of mouth with no promotion, grew to like 900 people since April 1st. And for the first, I probably only mentioned it outside and on my public timeline a few times. We're in the middle of what I'm calling the ARC launch for our archangels. And it's a sanctuary, a place to go that is with people that are aligned with what you're doing. We're a lot of broadcasters. I don't want to go into that. We'll talk about it for a second. But the reason I got taken down, I posted a post. I tagged 51 people. They were all my founding members. I was not spamming anybody. I was not tagging anybody. I do not regularly tag a lot of people. I don't like that. I know people who abuse it quite regularly, and I'm like tagged with 50 other people on something.
You're sitting there untagging. Well, actually, I mean, that really comes down to like etiquette, and respect. And I feel like if people are going to overstep their boundaries, I mean, to me, that's common sense. But anyway, so you tagged a bunch of people.
So I tagged a bunch of people and it was just my members, my founding members. And for the specific purpose, because I wrote some really good language about, they had been wanting some language so that they could tell their friends and invite them in or go through Messenger or whatever. And then also for some people who were more curious, I call them, on my timeline, I had a picture of Noah's Ark, which is part of my promotion for the Ark launch, and our sigil, our logo above it in the sun. Picture of the Ark logo, and it just said the boat is in the water. Why don't you come on in? We're gathering a family of light and in a nice sanctuary to create, and it's a membership, and elders are free. They have paid their dues and they are supported by the other members. And I forget what else I said. And then I just said, it's free for a couple weeks. And I did put a price in there, and it was that it was $9.99 a month for the membership subscription for the membership. and the Alliance, which is beyond the app, but it is an app and platform, is part of the membership where it's like Facebook.
Yeah, but I hope that you're going to tell me like this is some slanderous, horrible situation. You posted something nasty, right? Just saying.
There were no swear words. There were
No,
no.
give me some logic here. Kirk
Believe me,
Nurmi,
and
an audience. Hold on,
I've
got an
I've
attorney.
posted profanity before. I've like, you know, there's nothing about COVID, mask, no
Right,
mask,
right.
election, nothing
Let's
about natural
let's
health,
ask
vitamin C.
let's ask Kirk. Kirk's an attorney. Kirk, what are your vibes on this as an attorney? If you're still on right now, if not, I'll message you later. But I'd love to know. Like, this is it's free public speech, but yet it's their product. So how does that? I mean, this is some interesting stuff. So when we upload our property, I'm guessing that when we upload our property to Facebook, it then becomes mutual ownership. So they can just take it down and remove it.
Well, technically they own it. You agree to it. It's called a contract of adhesion. Kurt would know this. A contract of adhesion. And you agree to more than you think you do. Technically,
talk to us about that.
Yeah, technically they will own it. I also happen to work in encryption and internet security. I'm a strategist and consultant in marketing for a company that's doing some cutting edge stuff. And in the last 2 years in working with them, I've learned more than I ever wanted to know. And I knew a lot to begin with. I've worked on human rights courts, independent human rights courts, and Templar work, and a lot of things, and every level deeper. This not so naive anymore Midwest girl who was always like, fighting the good fight, marching for democracy and trying to make things right and everything. But I've found that the way to do that for me and my path is through creating and through making new things, as Buckminster Fuller says, create the new that makes the old one obsolete. And to me, that is the only, I don't think that there is any effort worth putting in to fix systems that are so broken. I think it's a waste of energy. And I also, along with things I found out that I would never have believed before, I also found out and am aligned with many people who have solutions and technology and teachings that just blows me away. And if people heard more of that on the news, they would not be freaking out so bad, because the news is good, people. Spoiler alert, it's good.
Well, I'm just like, there's so much going on here. Jiminy Crickets. What I do know is,
right?
Jeez. Well,
I think that's like the statement for overall, right?
Well, it's been the evolution over time. So I'm old enough and I'm in my 50s to remember when the internet.
The same age, love.
I know, baby.
I know. We rock to the same 80s radio station.
Oh, here's Kirk. In some Facebook controls who and what can appear on their platform. Right. Yeah, absolutely. And by the way,
and it said no promotions, no advertising, even though we all do it. I mean, you did it with the link in the Mothership to a subscription platform that you have, but you didn't put a price or tag anybody, but it doesn't matter. If they want you gone, they want you gone. In the very same day, some major light workers were also pulled down. No explanation. This was not a post warning. I manage the account and page for Robert Edward Grant, who I work with, who's mathematician, geometer, and he was having Elle McPherson on for a podcast, and we did a promo, and my social media manager posted a Sports Illustrated cover of Elle McPherson, and it got dinged. And they're like, only the admins can see it, no nudity, blah, blah, blah. Well, she wasn't nude, but the AI read her nude because, there wasn't a lot left to the imagination, you know what I mean? And they dinged it, but they just suspended the post. Only admins can see it. This violates community guidelines. Fine, whatever. Don't agree, but okay, close enough. You could fight it. When this happened, I was like so shocked. First of all, like, wait a minute, what? Like, I specifically and intentionally remain below the radar because what I am doing is very powerful. It is a Trojan pink unicorn, I call it. Actually, I hashtag that in my post.
But a Trojan, wait. I mean, I can't even imagine the unicorn rainbow farts that are coming out of a Trojan pink rainbow. Jiminy crickets,
Right.
girl. Hey, I want to say a quick thank you before Kirk jumps off. Thank you, Kirk. And
Thank
also
you.
a quick plug for Kirk Nurmi. If anybody hasn't seen Kirk's Court, you need to go and watch it.
Ooh.
Kirk Nurmi, I've had him on once. Kirk, I need to have you on again. He's a he's a world-renowned lawyer. He's so freaking amazing. But I met him because we had these mutual friends actually, and on Facebook, and I saw him, and then I was like, I love what he did. So anyway, big love to you, Kirk, and reach out to me, dude. Let's get you back on. Okay, back to you.
Thanks, Kirk.
Thanks, Kirk. Captain Kirk.
I knew this would be fun because Debbie's fun. So I'm like, if I get another fun person, then I'll go silly. It's just going to go, like, we'll talk about it, and then it's going to take a turn for the silly.
There has to.
Yeah, if this is not fun, we're not doing it.
That's right, because life is too short to get flipped out. And I got to tell you, I mean, I'm sitting here imagining what it must be like to open my Facebook account and see my personal account gone. Now, if anybody's ever had a hard drive crash or you've lost everything in your hard drive, and I still have one sitting there waiting to one day I'm going to take it to a white room, a clean room, and have them strip that puppy, I think. You know, anytime that it feels, there's just something about that. I recently experienced a loss of a lot of photographs I had.
That's
We're talking
years. That's like,
yeah, that's what I used to, that was my hobby. I used to superimpose scripture on prints, and it was called God's Beauty, and I used to sell them at art shows. Oh my God. Like like my cameras, I had real SLR cameras and stuff like that. I don't have those right now. And so now, because they're gone, I can't do anything about them. I can't sit around and keep going on and on in my head about it. But what I'm noticing is we're not the only ones that are experiencing this cleansing of even our photos. It's like our past, our everything, our whatever, you know? Dude, like there's like a big clearinghouse happening all over the place. And I think that there's a bigger, deeper meaning in what's happened with you having your profile taken down, with all of your photos.
Irrevocable, everybody.
Irrevocable.
I can't, like, they're like, you could upload your license and look into it. Are you going to dispute this? I said, yeah. You know, like, are you going to question this? You think it was taken down in error? And I hit yes. And it popped up the screen and it says, this decision cannot be reversed. Wouldn't even allow me to question it.
Well, first, I just want to sit with you for a minute because it sucks when we lose, when all of our memories are gone and we don't have them. And it's like Facebook. I have a lot of shit housed in Facebook that I actually was prompted, like I said at the beginning, to go download some stuff because I've got stuff in there that I don't have on hard drives or phones. I mean, 12 years, you guys, that's a long time.
Oh, things that I uploaded straight from my phone or whatever that it's in by date. But I do want to talk about that. Let's talk about non-attachment.
Oh, see, I told you guys, it's a much deeper meaning, and non-attachment's my favorite thing to talk about.
Let's do it.
Remain unattached from those outcomes. Let's rock and roll, baby. Take it away with those feety cup.
I like things with sound effects too. I think that started happening around 45 years old. The sound effects come in. Around 50, the next gets softer, but sound effects came in about 45, just so you know.
We just love them. Well, did you know that joy is gratitude's belly button? That's like, you know, like the Pillsbury Doughboy. It's just like joy is literally gratitude's belly button. It's just like that thing you can press and it's just like, all through your body. But sound effects, yeah, I don't think I ever stopped. I remember my ex getting really annoyed with me. It's like, are you ever quiet? No.
I'm
Oh,
quiet a lot, but when I'm not a lot.
okay.
How about that for an
I,
answer?
I love how about that. Tell me about non-attachment, baby.
So it was really interesting when it happened. People were blown. I was actually going live in the Mothership Alliance ARC. I call it the ARC. It's our rental unit while we're build the custom, but it's really beautiful and peaceful, and we can go live in groups and all of that stuff. It's an app and platform, and we just launched a few weeks ago on that. We had our founding membership before that, but non-attachment, let's talk about that. Shiny spoon. Okay. Squirrel.
Squirrel. Okay.
So, like probably anybody my age, but especially in the last few years, after 2012, certainly when things heated up on this spiritual and personal growth stove, as you say. I was no different. I know like so many people who can share their story of like everything being stripped away, either metaphorically, emotionally, or physically, or all of the above. And this was also my story.
Yep.
Okay. Debbie and I have a lot in common. We both like media warriors. We've done addiction. We've done all kinds of stuff with our kids and all of that. And I went through initiations for a few years, really hardcore for like 2-3 years, where I lost everything. I lost my shop, my studio. I lost my daughter. She's in LA because my other child was sick and in need, and we had to divide and conquer. And I came up to the Pacific Northwest, and I didn't know, what was going to happen or how I was going to get back on my feet and nurture my child who needed me and who was not well. And I mean, everything and then I went back and forth in LA. You want to talk about quarantine. I was in a remote farmhouse in Wisconsin with my one child for 7 months through the winter.
Wow.
It was insane. And I gave away, sold, whatever, so much. I mean, probably 75% of my earthly belongings, and then personal things beyond. And so when this happened, I don't know, how many of you out there have ever done like cord cutting work. You ever heard of cord cutting where you cut?
I have. Yeah, you guys. Yeah. But
right.
to
I
explain
highly recommend it.
Big time, huge, big. But tell them why. Because this is listen, guys, my granddaughter, I'm going to preface this. My granddaughter says that we are all connected by an invisible string. She was 4 years old when she said this. I've got it on video. I want you to keep that in mind when Robyn explains cord cutting.
Right. So there are some people who have the spiritual gifts and ability to actually see the cords, which is super cool. But we have, and it makes sense. I relate to so many things is technology, and a lot of my spiritual teachings or things that I do, I talk about the technology of it because it really is a technology. But, when you have an attachment to something, even if it's sort of innocuous, even if it's benign, I guess would be the word, a nice memory or something of somebody, or you remind me of my grandmother, or we've been friends a long time. So there are, a lot of times when you have a connection with somebody, say you were married to them and with them for 20 years, that cord's going to be pretty big. I had a healer who could see the cord and like it was like dry or brittle, like sort of the like health of the cord even. Some are like really fine or whatever, but it's energetic cords, and you can have energetic cords attached to you from people who are maybe jealous of you, love you, anything, right? But it's just an energy attachment because we're attached to one another through energy and vibration. And so just like when, sometimes you're released from things when your house burns, it's horrible. it's, traumatic, but at the
Yeah.
same time, there is this clearing, right? And I had done, after my marriage fell apart, I had done for the first time ever, like cord clearing, cord cutting. Archangel Michael's a good one to call in on that one.
Isn't he? Yeah.
And I was so surprised at how I could feel it, and then I've had the experience also where I actually had it in the last year, where I when they say reclaim your power, reclaim your energy, reclaim your power, right?
Yep.
And I had this situation with someone where I didn't realize, but suddenly realized that I was giving away a lot of my energy to them and cycles to them and bandwidth to them without, a proper balance.
Right.
And I reclaimed that. And it was like almost like a disc, if I could explain it. Like I felt it come into my solar plexus. It was like it returned home to the mother dock. And when this happened with Facebook, immediately my reaction was not, oh God, oh my stuff. It was like, woof. Like Archangel Michael just came in and cut a whole bunch of stuff.
Wow.
And I felt
Yeah.
very like, whoa. I did. And I had a friend of mine who left me a message and was like, it's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel sad about this, which is true. And it was very kind. She's another Cancer mama. I'm a Cancer. Like, we like our things. I didn't have a home of my own for 2 years, which for somebody who's been on their own since they were 17 years old, and always made any little place pretty nice, and my candles and my stuff, and like my home is my womb home. And to not have that, I knew at the time I was being like, home is my temple, I'm my temple, like,
It's brutal.
Yeah.
I want to say, boy, do we do have a lot of comments. Jeez, Germany crickets. I'm an Aquarius, so I love my son is a Cancer, my ex was a Cancer. Y'all are about home and your family, loyal.
Cooking. I had no kitchen. I had
I can't even imagine. I know what I went through because I also did this.
On my
And
own.
I actually talked about this yesterday on a quickie, like 1 minute thing. Because I also went through this and actually just got my own house again in the last, since we started Women Rising, in the last 4 months, 6 months, not
And
even
look
that.
how pretty.
Oh, I just want to cry because it's beautiful. Oh my
Love
God.
it. It feels so good.
It's like I've got this 3-story townhouse and it's just decorated so cute and it's 2 miles from the beach. But let me tell you all something. I had nothing. I was stripped of it all. What she's talking about, I mean, the year that we went through when my son decided to get sober and bless his heart, the year that we took that challenge on was pretty something,
You're gonna make me start crying. I'm laughing, I'm goofing, I'm gonna start crying.
Well, here's the beauty in this. Like yesterday, man, I've been busting my ass behind the scenes like you do. We're trying to get these platforms, you guys, so we can have somewhere for you all to go. Because I love you, Facebook, and thank you for what you've been for all these years, but you suck. Sorry. I mean, this bites, man. It's just kind of stinky. Anyway, I'm sitting there in my house. I have a white, big, fluffy dog, and I have to keep things swept up every day because I have all hardwood floors. So I'm like looking at my house is a mess, Robyn. Like not a mess, like it never is a mess, but I know I have fur balls because I know that I haven't vacuumed them up in like a week. Then I go to the kitchen and I see that I also have dishes from last night. And then, you know what I did? I started to get like went into my old victim mode of I don't get any help. I gotta do all this myself. I'm the man. That lasted about because I swear to God, because I actually intentionally practice gratitude. I intentionally do it. And I sat back and I looked out of the window and I went, oh man, am I grateful? I have a house to clean. I have dishes to clean that I had food on, that I had the food to put on the dishes, you guys. Listen, we've made a lot of money in our life, and I've lost a lot of money in my life. And a lot of everything. It's all gone.
Yeah, I've
It's
sold an
all
internet
gone.
company. I lived in the hills in LA with a pool, all of it.
It's gone. It's gone. I had an advertising publication. Gone. Gone. You know what? No.
Like
Unattached.
Doritos, we'll make more.
Here's, oh my God, now we're coming back. Bigger, better, stronger. Y'all best watch out, because powerhouses are here. And this is what I have to tell you. Unattached from the outcome. And unattached from the outcome, and unattached from anything, including people coming and going in your life. Man, I remember Dr. Wayne Dyer talking about this, Robyn, and he was saying, he'd be like, how do the people come and they go and they come and they go, and he goes, because they're there when they're supposed to be, and they're not there when they're not supposed to be, and that's just as simple as it is. Well, what do you do? I mean, when you love somebody and they're not there, you better enjoy the moment that they are, because you may not have one, that moment again, or two, it just may not ever, you may not align again in person. Who knows what that might be? But in all of this that happened with your Facebook, what you were telling us is that this is a practice of the art of not being attached, and it is a hardcore practice. Sometimes you have to. Nikki Sixx has this band called 6 a.m. Nikki Sixx is from Motley Crue, and it says sometimes it takes a trail of blood to find our way back home. He also wrote the Heroin Diaries. So. And I think, Robyn, that might just kind of suffice right there. Sometimes it takes a trail of blood to find your way back home, and I think that you, of all people in this world, get this.
It's interesting because I was thinking about when you said Wayne Dyer, and one of the things I always remember about Wayne Dyer, who was, he was one of the first people that I followed really when I was a seeker back in the day, and his voice was so calming, and he spoke such wisdom. But he would say that if you really wanted to experience true church, true God, like, go to a 12-step meeting. And he would go just to be in that community of people who were $1 million businessmen sitting next to homeless, all sharing in common. A story. And you want to talk about people who they'll laugh, about some of these stories that people are horrified by, because they have been to the very, very bottom. They have lost so much and worked so hard to regain it. You want to know humility. You want to know gratitude. Just talk to anybody, 12-step or not, who has lost everything, been afraid for a day of how to get food for themselves and their children. And it's when the other thing is too, I believe this very strongly and have seen it, is when you say yes to seeking. When you say yes, the universe is all the angels off the bench, and they're like, she's in the game. Okay, I'm not sure for this, but let's go. And you said yes, so it's okay, prepare to have stripped away what is not you.
Oh, it was brutal. I said the sacred yes. 2012, I heard a sound, and we won't talk about that right now because it's not about me. I'm just going to say that sacred yes, and yeah, that does happen. But here's the deal.
That's what happened 2012 too with me. They were like, stop doing this, stop. And I was like, I want rainbows coming out of my fingernails. And mind you guys, I like ESP, I hear voices, I do a lot. But
here's
not what I asked for, but it was not without what.
Right? Well, the thing about the what, it is effing what? What? And I finally got to the point. I said, listen, Spirit, here's how this is. Okay, I'm going to tell you what. I said the sacred yes. I do it. I show up. I've done this for years. Can you please just stop? This has to get easier. I'm just done. I'm not doing it. Do you understand? I'm just going to done. I'm done. And
they're like, good. Now you get it.
Yeah. when you're done, it's like this was really the deal. A lot of us go through stuff. And as I think I think that they say 50% of the population are earth angels, and most of them don't even know it. And the earth angels are the ones that get to go through this stuff to help others on this planet, and that's what we do. And it's all to be of service. But going through it, like the teachings of the Tao from Dr. Wayne Dyer, it's the first time I ever heard the teachings of the Tao. And
I have his Tao Te Ching
of course
translation.
of course you do, because I love you. And I just love you. That's just, of course.
Aww.
Thank you for being like, she's just giving so much confirmation to everything out there. Hopefully just as much for you all that are listening right now and on a replay, that, yeah, we get to go through some stuff. But she brought up not being attached to objects, not being attached to outcomes, and practicing the art of non-interference. You see, when shit's hitting the fan, you want to interfere because you want to fix, you want to fix, you want to fix. You want to make it different. You want to say, I don't like this. I don't want to be in this. I hate this shit. I don't want it this. Look at my life. It sucks. Blah, 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 blah. I can't stand it. Well, that right there is going to just get you more of that. And the reason we get to go through it is to learn to do it differently. So, Robyn, how did you learn to do this differently? Because you had to, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that, like many of us, I mean, it's not like one particular thing. And one of my gifts, and I use it in a lot of the work that I do, is pattern recognition. And I know for me personally that my spiritual growth path and my honing of my spiritual gifts has been augmented by and hastened by my pattern recognition abilities, because I could see when this happens, this happens. When this happens, this happens. That always happens on a full moon. That always happens, when this person comes in, that person comes in. Ding, 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 ding. I see the pattern. And I would see the pattern in certain, behaviors, or I would ask and you shall receive. That was one of the biggest lessons for me. Like, ask, and I'll be damned. It is just like you put a query into the computer and then just walk away, and then it comes back, whether it's a fortune cookie or your friend tells you, or it's something on the meme, you will get the answer if you're paying attention. And I paid attention, and I was committed. I knew that I was going through training, and I was committed. And I also learned that when I learned the lesson and I figured out what it was about, I didn't even have to finish the lesson. They're like, good job, next game board. And then,
oh my God, yes. Oh, you want me to tell you a lesson? You guys, this is really, this pattern stuff.
Hack. You don't have to finish the whole board.
Okay.
You just got to figure it out. Say yes. Ring the bell, right?
Ring it.
Oh, she's ringing her selenite bells.
Poop, poop. More cowbell. More cowbell. More cowbell. Yes. Just say it.
You crack me up.
Well,
so awesome.
Dude, listen. If I was driving down the road one day, I'm usually getting like the best stuff when I'm driving, right?
Me too. I'll go drive. Just do it. That's another hack, guys. Drive music, motion and music. Like, you will receive like a radio tower.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like jets and flying. It's crazy cool. This is just way too much fun. You guys, anybody, patterns. We're going to talk about, let's break some patterns. Okay. First off, I'm going to tell you cutting cords, which we were talking about because I forgot about this on the cutting cords. And so, I just, how do I cut my cords? You can use visualization, call in the energy of Archangel Michael, call in the energy of all divine. Just come in and I like to use selenite wands because I like actual tangible things, and
for a sword cutting.
Yeah, just to, and I mean, I just know I command through me, through spirit, through me, that nothing, no one's ill wills or anything else can be attached to me, as well as any time that we have a thought, that thought becomes a actual piece of our
Thought forms. We
reality.
call them thought forms.
A form. Yeah. Thank you. I love that. Thought form.
Yeah. Go to thoughtformhealing.com, by the way. Thought
Oh,
forms. I've had work done. They're like best
really?
of the best. Yeah.
But what thought form is really what this is. You see, when we get into a pattern, and this is what you do with people, you can help them see their patterning. And I love that Melanie says patterns are everything.
They're everything.
Any more questions about the cord cutting? You can hit Robyn up and she'll cut your cords. Just I'm just pimping her out right now. Just no worries.
Like, you can even go on YouTube.
You know what? Maybe I should
facilitators that are great that will walk you through it, just like EFT tapping. You can cut your cords, but there are healers that are just like really, like I said, there's some brilliant healers who can literally see it, or they can see the thought forms as like metaphors, either like, you know, you've been betrayed and they see a knife in your back. I mean, people's awakenings, I could spend a lifetime just doing work of documenting people's stories and hearing their modalities and all of that. Like, it's amazing. What's happening now is amazing. And anybody who is like dipped their foot in that pond, if you just are, it gets even more amazing. If you have been on the road for a while, you know what is happening, and it is so profound. And I'm excited to be a part of it, even on days where I was like, why did I not read the small print when I came back to do this business?
Because actually, what I love is you were brought here to do this business, Robyn, because it takes somebody. You've got cojones, man. My friend Tracy Romano is on right now. I've known Tracy. Tracy, we're going on 15 years, I think, something like that. Yes, you do need some selenite wands, Trace.
Oh, Tracy, I'll get my wand as a show and tell. Hold on.
But Melanie, you're right. Command, body, mind, and spirit. Totally. So here's the thing. Oh, that's just too insane.
What?
Oh my God.
It's one of my Mothershippers made this special for me. It's filled with, it's a copper tube too. It's blessed. It's filled with different stones and things that she channeled in. 5.5 hours of beading that she did by hand.
Whoa.
Anyway, I got to hit to like.
Here, I'm going to.
It's also good for special appearances and karaoke.
Oh, I love that. Oh my God, we could do that. Ready?
There's a little one.
We could do that. Oh my God, that one's beautiful. Oh,
yeah.
Wait. What was that? The Roxbury. We will get into the Roxbury.
We should do a COVID karaoke on Zoom night with the ladies. That would be super fun, you guys.
Oh my God, that would be insane fun. I would absolutely love that. You know, anything actually that brings us together and that breaks the monotony of the pattern. It breaks the play is the breaker of the pattern. You know, when you've got something going on and you see some drama continuing to happen and you're like, why does this keep happening to me? Well, if it keeps happening to you, chances are is because you keep seeing yes, you say yes at the get from the same thing that you say yes to the get at everything for. So you get the same experience totally.
Changes clothes. It just changes clothes. And then when you finally get it, you're like, oh
right. And so break it. You break it. Break that pattern. Boom. You guys, and how do you do it? I play right here, right now. How do you break patterns? You do something a little bit different than you've always done before. And I started with pattern breaking to actually change my life to the reality that I prefer. I started making my bed. Period.
With some people, when you make your bed, it's true. I make it every day.
Well, it's like, yeah, it was like that. Well, see, because here's the thing. Like right now, my bed's messy right now, guys. I'm going to tell you the truth. I haven't made my bed yet, but I'm looking over at my doggy, and he's all snuggled on the bed, and it looks all cozy and warm. I mean, that's inviting to get right back into. And if any of y'all are going, I don't know how I just laid in this bed till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now I'm hungry. And I don't understand how I just gained 40 pounds because you know, and then you get up and then, oh my God, it's 5 o'clock already. Shit. You know, think about it, guys. Break a pattern. And when you think about, you don't have to change big things. You just change a little baby thing, a little tiny baby thing. And yeah, well, my life sucks. We'll get in gratitude and it won't suck
But in
anymore.
physics, that changes everything. Look at this necklace. This is that you turn one of these cubes and all of the other cubes around it turn.
Let me see.
It's not woo-woo, it's physics. Welcome to the Matrix, everybody. That's right. My aunt gave me this. Isn't that cool? It wasn't the one I was going to wear to wear today, but I grabbed it because it was on the counter, and it's one of my favorites.
So if you turn one of those, the pattern of the necklace changes?
No, it's a metaphor. It like in life and in physics, it's not even woo-woo, it's physics. A lot of these things, they're figuring out spirituality and science, right? It's the same. But like, if you picture everything as a grid, if you turn one piece in that grid, everything around it then will shift.
Absolutely.
So sometimes it's a matter of go out of your driveway and take a right when you usually take a left.
Hot damn.
It might just shift your whole world, like literally in rippled waves. I remembered something that I veered off course about when you asked me what was a big game changer.
Oh yeah,
and I said
definitely.
It was a little, and I'm going to tell you because I'm getting bugged to say this one before we go because it was everything. It was like one of the final. I had a couple of notches, and it was in the last 3 years since I moved up here. My son went into an inpatient therapy for 6 months. And I was able to, after a couple of years of being the sole caregiver, I was physically and mentally completely depleted. My adrenals were shot. I came up here. My dad flew down to LA. He came and we drove back up here. I left everything in storage there, and my daughter and my son was in therapy. And I was 49 years old in a spare bedroom of my father's. I had lived on my own since I was 17 years old, and my dad was awesome. It was a great way for us to heal a lot of things. And he's like, just heal. This is your time to just heal and just be, and we have food, and just heal and do what you need to do to, just pay whatever you got to pay or whatever. And so I took it seriously, like about, I rested, but I also wasn't going to waste this time without my children, without being on a course of something, to just heal and to get in it. And I also was at this unbelievably freeing point of, they said that freedom is nothing left to lose, right?
Yeah, right.
Is another word for nothing left to lose. I had nothing left to lose. I had nothing left to lose. And I was always an intuitive. I was always, on the path. I had already had at this point, pretty well developed spiritual gifts. But I was like, you know what? I'm going in deeper. I'm going to just experiment with every single thought I hear, intuitive, take a right, take a left, grab that peanut butter, whatever, call that person, whatever came in, I was going to do it and see what happened. And I did. And you could just put the accelerator down on the miracles. God gave me exactly little opportunities for work to make money and survive as my brain could handle. Like, I could have gotten the greatest marketing job or client at the world at that point, and I couldn't have done it because I couldn't have physically or mentally handled doing it. So I was given just a little one. Good. Okay, you did that. Okay, now you can do this. God's grace, it was the universe, exactly what I needed when I needed it. But I was driving down the street, and I was thinking, and I'm driving and I'm receiving. I'm getting a lot of stuff. I'm seeing a lot of stuff. I'm talking to angels. And I was watching people go into the grocery store, and I'm thinking, God, why can't I just kind of be normal? Okay, just be normal for them. Look at them. They're just going to get their cat food, and they're getting back in their car, and they're going home. They're not doing all this stuff and taking all this stuff or whatever. And how do I know? But anyway, And I get this voice and it said, this is your reality. It's real to you. Like, don't worry about whatever you know what I mean? You don't have to make it a separate place. Your gifts or your talking to spirit is over here, and then going to the grocery store is over there. It's all intertwined. And even though I sort of knew that on one level, I didn't really fully integrate it. And then I was like, you're right. I'm going to claim my weird. I like claim my crazy. I claim my weird. We've been persecuted for this, especially women, right? We've been burned at the stake multiple times. Guess what? We're back. Okay. And it's not crazy. This is the way that like villages survived, because you know that the grandmother who knew, or the mother who knew that the storm was coming, got y'all in a cave, and you survived for the next, week.
That's right.
I rolled with the crazy. That's the long and short of it. And and also the faith. I rolled with the crazy and also the faith. Like, hands off the wheel, like full faith. And I kept getting tested a little bit more. And
right.
like, I'll just short say the story of like, that was one where I was like, why do you always, I'm in service, I'm in faith, why do you always gotta take me? I told this on the Women Rising series, I think, or one of my mothership calls, but like I was telling the story and I was like, why do you always have to take me right to my fingernails? I know that like everything's supported and everything, and I'm just hanging on right to the last second. Why you got to do that?
Right?
And and then you want to know what I heard?
What?
Until you're not hanging on anymore.
Oh. Done. Over.
That was it. And I've got it a couple times where it's like, and they're like, so much better than my plan. So much bigger than my plan.
Wow.
You know, my higher self is like, if I can get out of my own way, not overthink it. That's the big one. That was the game changer. I have since, y'all, in the last 2 years, traveled around the world, working on leading edge technology with incredible people, also working in the spiritual world with incredible people, Robert Edward Grant, Nassim Harriman. I mean, like the whole like Resonance Science Foundation, people I already knew, taking it to another level. I've been to Rome, I've been to Malta, I've been to Portugal, I've been to London. I couldn't have money to put in my gas tank. I didn't think I was going to get to see my daughter once, and I told my dad's wife that I would, and I said, I'm going to be there for the family reunion. She looked at me like I was crazy. And within 72 hours, I had $2,500 in my bank account on a deposit from a job out of nowhere that somebody referred to me because I met him at a counter at breakfast in town. And I went with my daughter. I got to see my aunt before she passed, and my family reunion. And then ever since then, it was just like one thing after the other. And like my family sometimes like very carefully planning, and like watching me like, how is this happening? I'm like,
I'm right there with you. Holy shit.
Egypt. Just went to Egypt.
You went to Egypt? Seriously? Like, okay.
Just before we got back, a week before our shutdown, I wouldn't have got back in, and I'm pretty sure I had COVID. I was sick for 3 weeks.
Hot damn. That's amazing.
I'm teaching there, yeah.
Yeah, super wow is right. And super, by the way, Wonder Woman 2 is coming out. I saw that. I'm not like, oh God, that looks amazing. Oh yeah, baby. If anybody hasn't seen the first Wonder Woman, yeah, I'll go see that.
When she came on the battlefield, I started crying. I started crying.
It's crazy, right? It's crazy. You guys, that's what we're here for. Ladies, listen up. It's women rising.
Rise in your power. You're like, no more.
Women rising.
Talk about mothershipalliance.org. Just go there. Just read the front page. You'll know if it's you.
Mothership Alliance, right?
And Debbie could again, and we'll all have her classes too. With like all these academies, all of these, she's got amazing teachings and content and everything. The mothership is a container. It's not trying to be any of those things. It is bringing the women together and also giving like marketing and support and healing that they can't do on their own. So you could check that out. But I've enjoyed this conversation way more.
It's been so much fun. Oh my God.
It's so much fun. Well,
I'm just sitting here tripping because like you're just, you said something so powerful and then went on to tell what happens when you do this. It is that moment when you let go. And
it's so hard and it's so good.
this moment, okay, Robyn, it looked like in my life, it looks like, in fact, the other day I got tested again when I started to, where everything's okay, like everything's covered, but yet I sat back and all of a sudden I went back into my old story of lack or not enough or not enoughness. Then I sat there for a minute and then I went, oh yeah, no, yeah, no. When you've had nothing and you're still here to breathe and you're breathing and you're alive and you're still talking about it, if you've almost died and you're still here, you're still breathing and you're still talking about it, and I mean literally physically, if you are anything that you have been through in your life and you're still here to talk about it, then actually please do stand up and start talking about it because it is men and women rising, but it really is honestly, and it's not a feminist movement type thing, guys. When we say women rising, it is about us truly stepping into our Mothership Alliance.
And rising in the men. We have men in the Mothership Alliance, our blue
right,
men, like who are rising right with us and who are
mm-hmm.
backing us up, and they get it. They understand what that really means for society and how important it is to have the feminine and the women supported and what that means for this world and how we can't do it without it. We're here to clean this house. It's a mess.
Well, that's kind of the, you know, a lot of people are really like, but it's so devastating and this is happening and this is going on in the world. But it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be because it's got to, you know, sometimes you have to rebuild, and in order to rebuild, it's got to be torn down. And sometimes
Ever been in the room when a baby's born? It's not.
No, it's not actually. And no,
wailing and screaming, and
you don't forget the pain. What the heck? They lied about that, by the way. And they don't give you a manual either, by the way. So we're here to help each other remember who we are. And that's why you've been here today, is to remember who you are, for goodness sake. You know, if you're whining, bitching, complaining about your life, I'm going to encourage you to go find one good thing about your life. Please. Just one. Start there. You don't have to. No! Well, then, want me to be straight?
Angel cookies. I call them angel cookies. When you surrender, when you have faith, when you do the work,
angel cookies.
You get angel cookies. That's how I keep going too. Like you'll get a blessing. You get paid.
Angel cookies, angel wings, you guys. Yeah. Tap into that energy. Tap into that energy. And please go to Mothership Alliance and go seek out Robyn Davis. So I know that you have a website that you don't really promote. However, it is robyndavis.org, you guys, since you're not available on .com.
robyndavis.com.
.com?
Yeah, and that's the way you can find me on Facebook.
Because that's why
it's a lot of from when I had my shop and studio in LA. So there's a lot of photography. It's got my branding work and everything, but it's a little dated. My primary focus right now is the Mothership Alliance.
It is, but if you really, I mean, you got to have a way to get a hold of her. And she is on LinkedIn. She is on LinkedIn, and she is on other social media outlets, so you can find her on those.
Yeah, my own Mothership Alliance.
And she can come through spirituality any damn time she wants to come live on Facebook, because I can do that, you know, because I can. And you're going to see us on Saturday morning, which is tomorrow morning, on Unify and on Spirituality Gone Wild and on YouTube. On our very own Women Rising YouTube channel, which was just created actually yesterday. So
Debbie G's a G.
I'm a G. Like the OG
warrior.
Yeah, well, we're both OG spiritual warriors. It's just like, I think, you know, I wonder if like we all are. Mona.
Angel cookies.
I love angel cookies.
I'm just getting sillier the more caffeinated I get. So it's a good thing we're gonna tap out.
Cuppa Gratia. Shot of expression. 2 squirts of reality. And awesome. Like, you are literally one of the best co-squirts, I swear. Aww. We could double shot this all day long. You guys were a great audience. I just want to say thank you. I love you. And y'all have a day full of positive momentum. Remember to find your gratitude moments and reach out to that one person that you aren't wanting to reach out to, and befriend someone you wouldn't normally befriend. Okay? Peace.